Now the microphone is on. How dare you? How dare you, phone? Alright, let's see. Let's adjust the camera. So, round 3 of the Unreal Bjorn has been judged on. And the winners have been announced. Let me go to the post. Come on. Here we go. Now there's finalists waiting for these people to fight their back into the final place in the final, and I will fight for the win. And here you can see all the fantastic entries and who won. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Congratulations. And let's see here. I also worked a little bit more on the Friday's warm-up on Mr. Cactus. As you can see, I think last night I spent a little bit more time, a little bit more care with textures and a little bit of color just to kind of highlight some elements of him. So I'm pretty okay with him as he is for now. I'm going to go through all of the characters before I give them all a second pass. So if they're at least at this minimum stage, if I don't have any more time, I can get away with it. This is not going to be the amazing work, but at least it's going to be something done, right? Hey Zielin, Atsuki, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey Captain Jetlag. Yeah, it's sun, man. It's amazing. I was out running today, again. I know it was like refreshing heat. It was really nice. Hey Amir. Good morning, Captain Bounce. Debart, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Fantastic. I am pumped. I am ready. I'm ready to do some magic. How's everyone doing? Like I showed yesterday on Extra Stream, I got mauled by my mother-in-law's cat because I was messing around with it. Really, really dug into my hand with the back paws, like raptor style, like scratching up my guts if my guts would be here. Hey Amir. And Urjan. Urjan. Let's go. Let's start. So, I was thinking before the stream, like, which character should I be doing? So, I was thinking I'll be doing uh, a Native American, and I'm gonna make it like this nature woman. She's kind of like a witch. I want to make like a witch type character, but uh, uh, like a beautiful woman, but Native American. And I was thinking, like, should I make her like an old woman, but that's pretty? So I was thinking that would be pretty cool, you know, that she's like an old hippie Native American with lots and lots of hair, kind of hanging down, like an old lady, you know, like that silver mane type deal, um, and maybe she has like like a I don't know, some sort of ceremony going on, and maybe there's floating piece of the comet. Maybe she's taken, you know, like worshipping the comment or taking the energy of the comment or something like that, right? So that's kind of what I was thinking about of of making it. You know, that would be a nice touch, right? Hey Eric, how's it going? How's it going? Örjan, yeah. Well, I was messing around with the cat. I wanted to push its buttons, and it made me pay. Hey Jacob Mobley, thank you very much for the host. Fantastic, much appreciated. Henrik, good morning. Yeah, Eric the Beautiful was picked. Hey Kirill, how's it going? How's it going? Yeah, it was Eric the Beautiful on a horseback. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I wasn't like being evil. The let me explain. The cat is an outdoor cat, and it doesn't like to be petted. And I was saying like I'll make the cat be wanted to be petted. So I was petting it, and my mother-in-law was like, "Wow, you're really able to pet it for a long time." And I was, I really managed to be able to sit and pet the cat until the cat was actually it did a really good job in showing like you better stop petting me now. It like put its teeth on my hand, like gently, um, and started licking my hand. There's a clear telegraphed signs of take a you better stop doing that. But I wanted to see like because she's an outdoor cat, I wanted to see like does she have indoor skills, or is she full on outdoor? And I mean, she's starting to learn to be an indoor cat and respect humans. In the level of careful play. But I pushed it too far, and she taught me a lesson. And I wasn't like evil to the cat. I was like lovingly petting the cat. I wasn't like poking it or anything. It wasn't like I wasn't bad at towards the cat. The cat just didn't want to be petted. Yeah, exactly. Örjan. But I mean, I wanted to try. I mean, I'm usually quite, respectful to the animal, and I don't mess around with them. But this cat in particular, it's not a very like loving cat, and I wanted to see how far I could push it. But usually, I listen to that first signal from the cat that says when they say, like, you better stop petting me, and then I recognize the signs and just step step away. But in this particular instance, I wanted to see. Hey, Marvin Marbles, Chillstrand, Quentin, how's it going? Jacob, yeah, cats are crazy. I got my own cat. She's a good cat. I've been teaching her a lot of good stuff. This arm, I'm not enjoying. It's too like too. She's too much of an X. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of move the hand forward. Something like that. That's better. Okay, and I'm gonna go with a little bit of stereotypes. I'm gonna give her like feathers in her hair, as you would think a Native American has. But I don't want to do like the classic. I'm just gonna kind of mix it up a bit. But the question is like I wanted to be her to be an old lady of sorts, but still have curves, much like the witch in Tangled, this kids movie if you've seen it. but the Native American version of sorts. Maybe she has like a bunch of birds, crows or something flying around her, and they're all kind of sitting up and observing the comet, and they're, oh, maybe it would be cool to have like a little bit of a narrative here where the closer the birds are to the comet, like the maybe the more they are crowing and the more they are kind of mutating, maybe it would be cool, like a little bit of a secondary story going on in the concept. There, Bard. Yeah, that's nice. Unreal Bjorn. You're dead. Orion, yeah, exactly, exactly. That's why I wanted to kind of challenge the cat to see, like how far could I make him want to be petted, because the cat was wanted to be petted, it just didn't want it for very long. Um, and it was great signs that the cat was telling me to stop carefully without, like, okay, now I want you to stop, and blood. The cat was actually telling me back off, 2 times, and I ignored it, and she told me off, with her claws, which is great, which is great. So obviously the outdoor cat is learning to behave with humans, which is nice. Hey, Super Groovly, how's it going? How's it going? Teaching my cat to draw? No, but I've taught my cat to play hide and seek. Uh, I've taught it to hunt for things, and I taught it to eat spiders and bugs. Um, like if you find a bug or a spider, my wife hates spiders. You go up to the table and like tap the floor next to the bug, and whisper like, "Oh, look at what's this? What's this?" The cat comes and looks at it and it eats it. I've taught it to eat spiders, so my wife can now tap close to a spider and like whisper for the cat to come and eat it, and the cat runs up and eats it. I mean, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I did that the last time I was at my mother-in-law's. I mean, I just wanted to push the envelope. I wanted to see how mean she could be. And now I know I'm not gonna challenge her again, the cat. I'm just gonna respect when she tells me to stop. Uh, I mean, it depends on what they regard as a concept. 8 thumbnails, for sure. 8 thumbnails you should be able to do, no problems, or more advanced thumbnails. But 2 finished illustrations, you can't do that in a day. It's impossible. But it all comes down to what's required, what level of finish or what level of you know style is assumed. But to me, 2 finished illustrations and 8 concepts, that's no one can do that every day, especially as a beginner. Now 8 thumbnails, you should be able to, for sure. Magshin, that's nice. Teach the cat to high five for snacks. That's great. I taught my cat to meow when it wants food. So it comes up to me and does this really, really long meow and looks at me. And I taught it to come to you on command, so it runs to you, comes up to you. Uh, I taught my cat to only attack when you're having your hand like an attack formation on the hand. If you're just petting it, it will never, never, ever attack the hand. But if you go to the cat like a snake's head and do like a claw, she's like getting fight ready. You can see it. She's like gonna hunt your fingers. But she attacks it and bites you and puts her paws on you, but never with force and never with the claws out. So she just kind of messes around with your hand, very gently and carefully and respectfully. Hey, I am Weekly. How's it going, man? So today we're doing yet another character. We're doing a Native American shaman type thing. I'm kinda um, testing things out a little bit. I'm a little bit unsure of where to go with it, but I'm hoping as I'm kind of trying to progress with the painting and read less of the chat, um, I'll be able to design something uh, relatively close to a Native American. Yeah, I mean, most likely, most likely. I mean, you can do a lot of nice paintings in a shorter amount of time, but looking at like gumroads and step by steps of like really really skilled artists, they can squeeze in an illustration in 2 hours. But that is with planning. That is, like no time accounted for reference. Like they have a battle plan already. They probably have already thumbnailed it in their head and all these things, and they like managed to do this amazing painting in 2 hours, sped up, like a sped up process. But then you do that every day, all day, it's impossible. Impossible. I mean, you could squeeze in a environment quite fast, but having it as a daily thing, constantly, is going to be hard. Wilderness box. Yeah, that's good. That's a good sign from the cat that she's respectful and tells you, is when enough is enough. Cristaleros. No, I mean Blizzard. Don't say that. What if Blizzard is watching you right now, and they were like, oh, they call up the outsourcing guy, like, cancel the contract for Chris. He just said fuck Blizzard. But then again, if you don't care about working for Blizzard, curse away. But you should. I would recommend you be careful with how you're talking. You never know. You can say you dislike Blizzard. If she lost her scalp, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe she's shaved the head. There weren't the Mohicans. They shaved like everything, and they had like this thing in the back, right? I think that would be pretty cool. Like she has shaved her head, but she's still kind of like a beautiful, beautiful woman. I think that would be a cool little design thing, right? And she maybe give her some nice antlers to really use all the stereotypes. Hey, Colossus, thank you very much for the follow. I've ordered breakfast. Good morning, good morning, good morning. definitely not splash art. It's impossible to do splash art in a day. If you do, it's not gonna be good splash art. Splash art takes time. You have to arrange the splash art into layers and all these things. It has to be a plan out thing. It can't be done, especially not 8 in a day. That's just ridiculous. Like the time League of Legends artists take to make one splash art is like 2 weeks maybe, and that's not even just one person working on it. It's a couple of people, and then there are like finishing artists that take another person's illustration and goes over it and does like last minute touch ups and fixes and so on. It's impossible. It's that kind of it's just impossible. Hey, Oms, welcome. How's it going? Örjan, there we go. There we go, Örjan. You should definitely not just flap your gums. You really gotta. In general, I think internet has kind of is causing us to care less about what you say, because you're behind this machine and there's this kind of dislocation of between words and people. Uh, but I think it's healthy to be reminded that it's actually people behind the nicknames and so on. Yeah, around 4 weeks, Aryan. Exactly. I know Ken. Ken and me go way back. Yeah, that always looks like it. She goes like, "Ta-da, motherfucker! I made chicken." It's true. Hey, Colossus. How's it going? The Kenny is a really nice guy. Me, Kenny, and a bunch of other people, and Marko Djurdjevic, uh, we all worked on a pet project back in the days called Parasitic Moon. It's a really cool project, and I think everyone kind of gained some sort of I wouldn't say fame, but kind of recognition of sorts. Kenny really was pushing that project hard and doing some cool stuff, and he actually paid, I think, Marco out of his own pocket for great concept art. I think it was that way. I helped out with that project with concepts from my damaged brain. Uh, Captain Boss, that is true though. That is true though. Photo bashing definitely speeds up the process in making something presentable and tight in terms of illustration. And the style is definitely leaning towards photorealism for quite some time now. I'm starting to see trends shifting back to painterly style a lot more like interesting colors and brushwork is starting to kind of trend at the moment. But for the longest time, it's been photo bashing, which is the style of choice when it comes to marketing teams and so on. But it's starting to. I think in general though is so many really good painters nowadays that that they're starting to realize that they should use that and not just lean on photo bashing, because there's been a lot of bad photo bashing because it has become like the thing you gotta know in order to get jobs, and it is arbitrary to your skill level. Just photo bash and you can get contracts, right? And unfortunately, that has been shown in a lot of movie posters of late. Like super horrible photo bashing monstrosities with no like artistic sense or skill in it. Just horrible roadkill. Hurri, yeah. Wilderness box, yeah, absolutely. It helps a lot. Masking and photo bashing, and it's definitely speeds up the process. But you gotta have all the photos already at hand. You gotta do research as well. They don't magically appear. You know? The photos you're using, I mean, for for when you're bashing. I haven't been paying attention at all to this drawing. I've been reading the chat more. I can see it in my level of finish and what time is left. But it's all good. It's all good. I think. At least I have the kind of start of the character, the idea of yet another character. I can easily spend a little bit more time on it to make it good. But I definitely want to give her like some cool face paint. Really lean on like the Native American stuff. Make it look nice. Give her some like maybe some nice druid's dagger type thing with a maybe a piece of horn. And I think those birds could be a cool addition if I would have more time and less reading chat. Really, really unproductive morning. But it's okay, I think. Could have like stones floating around it. This comet, piece of comet. But I think the idea of like the surrounding being corrupted, the crows crowing towards the comet or shard rather. I think that would be a cool. I definitely want to paint that in more in detail. But you have to separate though illustrator and concept artist. concept artists don't, in theory, don't even need to touch photo bashing, except like if they work on realistic games. And one of the tasks is to paint an environment realistically. But a lot of it, like a concept artist should be doing, is designing. It shouldn't be painting per se. Painting comes after the design. Painting is the package of the design. If you design in photo bash, you're not gonna get good results. You're gonna get a mediocre design at best. If you do both, you really need to be able to design before you bash. Because bashing everything makes you commit to a lot of information in there that the client might not want. I mean, of course, you can have a pipeline in terms of photo bashing and making it work correctly. I'm not saying that's impossible. I mean, ideally, you will be designing before you commit to a photo bash, so you can sketch with photos, like set the scenario up, show it to the client, and they go, yeah, we like version C. Finish that one, and then you know, like, add additional photos, you tighten everything, you work on the details and stuff like that. Wilderness box, I would personally say yes, definitely, because the rendering aspect you can learn fast. It can take a month or two, and you can be really good at it, depending on who's teaching you. But learning composition and all these things, design, you can't learn that in a month, because it's not really that, like, it's not that straightforward, because it takes, sense of aesthetics, taste. Rendering is mechanical for me. Mechanical, like the process of rendering. Use less saturation there, more saturation here. Tighten the details. That's such a soulless thing, which is a part of rendering, or making an illustration. Composition and design is everything. Rendering is just the the sugar on top. You know, I'd rather have an artist great at that than great at rendering, because you can always teach them to be good at rendering. Yeah, that sounds about right. 3 days. 1 day for sketching, 1 day for a detail pass of the thumbnails, 1 day for wrapping everything up, of rendering. Like, rendering it good enough. Sounds about right. And then maybe give and take a little bit, half a day here and there. Maybe thumbnails doesn't take a full day, maybe it takes a half day. And then you have some more time to tweak, or an alternative angle, stuff like that. But that's a good approximation of time for concept art. Yeah, I mean, lines and values, that's designing, right? That's not painting. And a lot of times you don't need to paint your concepts. A lot of times line art is good enough. Unless it's for presentation, or like boosting morale in the studio. and then you like give it a layer of sass and pizzazz to make it look attractive, you know, so that non-artists, when they look at it, they go, "Ooh, that's cool." But for an art director, they don't care really if it's for production, as long as they can hand it over to someone and they can do a great job with it. That's all that matters. All right, time is up. Too much babbling, way too much babbling, way too little painting. But I still enjoyed it. I think I have a great idea here. Execution, you can always argue it's not very good, and I would have to agree to it, but I like it. It definitely needs a second pass for sure, for sure. I'm not super happy with it, but the start, I'd say the start is there. Yeah, there we go. That's nicer colors. And then something to tie it all together with. Kind of like that. I kind of liked it. I liked it when those greens got boosted in the grays. Where was it? That. Something like that, maybe. Alright, thanks everyone for coming in. Have a fantastic day. Let's see if we can't raid someone. Who we could switch back to Jacob. No. Let's go to creative. Let's see if we can't find someone new. Body paint, no thank you. Level design. What's this? Nah, that's me. Oh yes. Painting. Too much manga. What's that? Angel of Mercy. Cain eats Abe. All right, let's raid Cain eats Abe. Have a fantastic day. Good night. Thanks for the follow, Verushka. See you all tomorrow morning. Bye.